Hi everyone, it's Liz from Crafting with Nani. How's everybody's Friday going? Just gonna take a minute and see if I can bring myself up on my laptop, because we all know comments are crazy these days, and I just want to make sure I can see them either on my phone or on my computer or my laptop, and hopefully we are going to be able to get the internet to stay working today. How's that? I am going to, I think, change internets real quick on my laptop, because my husband says that sometimes he thinks it fights with each other. So I don't know if that's true or not, but we're gonna try it, and we're going to see if it works. Hi, Linda Fletcher. How are you today? Hi, Carol. How are you? Well, let's hope, let's pray, let's do all the things we got to do to keep the internet from going off. Hi, Vicki. How is your knee today? Thank you for coming by to the sale yesterday and seeing some of your famous lace be turned into some red dirt lace. So we had a good sale yesterday, and I got all the invoices out, and some packages were ready to go. So yep, it is Vicki. That's what I thought. Vicki from Tennessee. This chick's crafts. So PT was good, huh? Oh, just do it. I was on a CPM machine for 12 hours a day to keep my leg going back and forth for 12 hours a day for 6 weeks. So that was how intense my rehab was. But hi, Carol. Thank you. How are you doing today? Yours is acting up also. Oh my goodness. I think it does have a lot to do with the weather. Today, right now, we have really blue skies. Hi, Carol. Hi, Petro. Hi, Connie. Hi, Debbie and Linda Fletcher. So I'm going to bring the camera down. We're going to get started. I'm trying to, well, you guys can actually help me a little bit today, because I am going to make a new journal. I promised my aunt Janet, if she comes on, we made her the little princess book for her granddaughter. So she asked me if I could make a book for her grandson. I believe it. She's got quite a few grandsons, but I believe his name is Porter. I know one of them's name is Porter, but I think this book is going to Porter. Thank you for spreading out and kicking out my cow patties. 101 today, Carol. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's only going to be, I think, in the 90s here. I don't think we'll get up to 100. So anyways, Mr. Porter wants to grow up to be a fireman on a farm with tractors and trucks. So I am trying to figure out how to combine these 4 books sorted together to make a junk journal for him. So I'm kind of in a little bit of a quandary. I went to Ollie's. Has anybody got an Ollie's by you guys? I didn't know we had one, but apparently we do. It's all the way across town. They had this, it's art journaling paper. It is 11 by 17 inches, 24 sheets. I got it for $1.99. So it's really a nice weight of paper. I took one of those, and I was trying to see about helping this cover out, because this is the largest cover I have of this book. So all I did was measure and then fold to make like a gusset here, you know, the spine, and then fold just to see if it was enough, if we had enough paper. So if anybody wants to see me do that, I can do that again. I mean, literally all I did was I took this piece of paper was straight, and then I just kind of matched up this book to it, and then I folded it onto itself, just like that, and then I probably should take my bone folder to it even more, and I just went like that, and then I did the exact same thing on the other side. I took this book again, I measured. Hi Molly Jasper, thank you for coming in. And I thank everybody, whoever's kicking out cow patties, so thank you so much for kicking them out. And then I just scored, I just did this, which made us this little spine. Now I'm not sure if that's going to be wide enough, to be truthful, because this is only, well, Jimmy Lou would be so happy I got my measuring thing. It's just slightly an inch, if it's an inch. So that's not really going to give us, hi Penny, thank you for coming. I wish Jimmy Lou would come on. No, she texted me, she said, when are you coming on? I told her, but she's in Central or Eastern time, and I'm Central time, and I think and today's her cell day, so who knows, she has time to come on. But this book that I'm thinking of doing, the truck book, it's not a golden book. It has just a couple staples holding it together, actually, but it needs help. I mean, the spine is going to go. So that's why I thought maybe I could take this one. Yeah, I don't think it's enough room either. But thank you for putting me in there. Thank you so much, Molly Jasper. That's awesome. I am not going to be adding, because it is a little boy's book, I'm not going to be putting any lace in it at all. The only material I have for it is this like monster trucks kind of deal, and I thought maybe I'll make a pockets with that. So I'm thinking I might be able to get away with this being such a small spine, is because it's not going to really get that thick. There might be some pockets in it and stuff like that, but no, I'm not adding like any of my lace, to any of the pages, because it's a boy, he's not going to want lace. I mean, I'll put some pockets and tags and that kind of cute stuff in there. But I agree, I'm not sure we're going to have enough room, so that's my problem. So, and I don't necessarily need to have all 4 books together. I do want to do the fireman. The fireman book is pretty bad. I got it really cheap. I mean, look, the cover's coming off, the spine's broken. It's an old book. I thought about cutting some of it down, but the graphics in this book goes from all the way to one side to the other. There is no white to cut off. This book was actually, it's a really old book. It's copyrighted 1959, so it's a year older than me, or a year younger than me, I should say. So, but it's in bad shape. So I was going to tear it apart and use part of that. Now the same thing with this little golden book with the trucks. It's actually in a fairly good shape. So I could use it, but we're still going to have to build like a 2-inch spine. Hi Connie. Yes, they have been very loved. And then I have the Baby Farm, which I think I used as a demo one time to tear apart. It came apart gorgeous. I mean, look at that spine. That thing is just perfect. I mean, I hate to tear it apart because it's so perfect. But he wants to be a fireman and on a farm, so I thought I could use these and put it as one signature. I could literally make this, they have it 2 signatures, but all I have to do is open it up, and now I have just one signature with it. And I can put that in whole, you know, by just adding maybe a couple extra. So hi Becky, thanks for coming in and watching. It's so funny, it shows that you're watching on my phone, but it doesn't show you on my computer. But that's why I like to have both of them. So I am thinking I might do that. I'm going to add the baby farm into one of the books. So I have it all together as one signature instead of two. And just so the story stays straight, I'm not going to intertwine the books like that. I want him to be able to, if he wants to read one story, it's going to be intact. But see, we can sew this in, and it's only it's only 6 pages. So that's why I'm thinking I might almost have enough room. Because if I sew that one in, that's 6 pages, and we have plenty of room in there. So that's what I'm thinking, and I'm thinking I would tear apart this cover and use this as my, because this will fit in there. And then I'll do something on the spine. I'll put this on the front. All I can do is try, you know, and if it doesn't work, you know, all I'm out is a piece of paper, right, and some time. So hi Lori, thank you for coming in. You were 6 years old. I know. It's crazy that these books are so old. The oldest one I have here, or this one was actually made in my birthday, which is 1958. Well, actually, it was first copyrighted in 53, and this is a reprint from 87. I guess was the last time for that one. So even that one's, you know, older than him. He's only, I think he's 8. So this one is going to be easy to take apart. It's just literally 2 staples. And then I can sew that one in. And like I said, since I'm not adding ribbon and lace, I'll be able to get that book in just fine. And then we'll be able to sew this one in just fine. And I still really have room to sew one more in. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm just going to add, all I have is a couple of pages that I'm going to add extra, you know, to feed some pockets and that kind of stuff in through it. But the truck one, we definitely have to do the fireman. So let's just go ahead and get the fireman torn apart, because it is, it's, like I said, it's different. It's completely different. This one was copyrighted in 1959, but then it says 1950 by Western Publishing, so they have it kind of reversed in it. So this one was originally out in 1950, but it was reprinted in 1959. But it's torn apart. I mean, it's not worth saving the cover for. So I'm not even worried about, you know, I'm just gonna try and get it apart. So let me get this one apart so we can, I just don't want to tear the pages. I'm not worried about the cover or the spine at all, because it's, you know, it's so torn apart. I just want to get it apart so we have the signature intact. And we'll see. Boy, they built this so it doesn't want to come apart. Where are the staples? Right there. I'm telling you, these guys back in the day, they used some good staples when they were putting these books together. As good as I am, I have no doubt. Well, you have a lot more faith in me, Carol, than I do. Like I said, the spine itself is pretty tore up, so I don't even care. See, like, it's already gone through, and I really don't care. I guess what I should do is just, since I don't care, is just take this apart and open up those staples, huh? That would be the easiest way to do it. Let me grab my tools that I didn't get out prior. And let's see if we can just get this pried open. Like I said, I don't even care about the spine. I get all my tools and I still use my butter knife. And this is my kitchen butter knife. If my husband was doing this, he'd have a fight. Hi, Janet. Hi, Cindy. If anybody sees Janet Moffat on here, this is all her fault. No. I'm doing this for her. My aunt. But I want to get it done so I can bring it to Virginia with me in October. Because I'm going to see her, and I'll be able to give it to him when I get there. Okay, so we got that open. So we should be able to pop it now on the front. Like I said, the only thing I'm trying to do is to keep the pages of the book good. And I still can't get it to pop. This is bad boy. This one did not want, this one, it just does not want to come apart. Doesn't want to pop. It's lucky that I'm not trying to keep the spine on this one because, woo. I mean, it'd be fun to keep, you know, I'll keep the chipboard from it and stuff, and we can use, you know, I'll put it in my stash of chipboard because it, you know, it's 50-year-old chipboard, right? So let's see if we can get this one. Now, if I was doing this as a regular junk journal, you know, like for a girl, you know, or like even for like me, or like if I was selling it, you know, then I would say that spine, there's no way we can do it because we'd just never be able to, it would never close because it would be so fat by the time you added the lace. But look at that. Boy, those staples were in there for good. So I am going to peel off this and save it just in case I ever need to patch. You know, if I ever need to patch a patch, I have a strip of this. And I can always add glue, or I can add tape and make washi tape, you know, with that. So, and the fireman, it's not a bad, oops, it wasn't bad until I just ripped it a little bit. I was trying to see if I could get that, and I'll save that in case I want to make like a copy of it, you know, I'll put it on the printer and scan it, or, you know, just make a copy. But we're getting rid of those staples because, whew. All right, so now we have book number 2, and we just want to make sure we don't mess it up by getting it out of order. So there we have, okay. Oh, you know what? When I did this one, I might have got the book out of order. Okay, so the way they have it made, it does have to go like that because you can't stick it in there or you will have your pages, your story out of order. All right, well, that was a good lesson we learned before I sewed it. Hi, Janet Moffat. We're building, is it Porter's book? Let's have the right child before I keep calling it somebody else's, but this is your fault. We're trying to build his book. So let me know if it's Porter. But I'm glad that I thought of that before I put it all together. So we will have to sew these in separately. So now we have to go back to this idea again, and will we have enough room for me to get all that sewed in? And I still think we can do it because like I said, we're not, yes, Porter, okay, good. We're not adding lace, you know, we're not adding anything that's really gonna cause the papers to get
too thick. I mean, I did get some like envelope pockets, you know, to put in there and that kind of stuff, but I still think we should be able to do it by even still adding this book. I know I'm crazy. I am crazy. If I accomplish this, it will be a miracle. And I do love that this book is still in one piece, so I'm going to keep that. So now we have 2 golden books to put in. Oh, and you had Porter today. What a deal. How old is Porter? I was saying so good. So we were doing so good, and all of a sudden I look up and I was like, oh, I'm frozen again. So we're going to take this one out, and this one should come out fairly easy. And because this one is only one signature in the book, I can sew that in as one signature. And I can still, let me get these staples out before I get bit by a 50-year-old staple. That would, I'd have to go get a shot if I got bit by one of these, I think. So look at these staples that they used back in the day. I mean, I'm telling you, they don't make staples like this anymore. So I do want to, I'm gonna have to cut this down. And we'll have a lot of sewing in to do. But this is going to be our cover. And then I'm just going to have to find something, you know, to put on the edge after I sew them all in. And I'm not going to do it as a hidden spine because that would just be too hard. So let me get my cutting board. And you know, like I said, you know, all I can do is fail. I mean, you know. How are we going to know unless we try it if we're going to, you know, if we fail, we fail, and then I just have to rebuild it. So I'm going to take this book, that's what we're measuring everything off. Well, let's see if the cover's the same. So let's keep these books in order. See, like this one is so, oh, you know what we could do is we could use this on the inside. Woohoo! Except it says thank you in the beginning and whose book this belongs to. But I could tape it, and then she could put, and then I could put that on. Okay, let's do it. We're gonna do it. We have a plan. Okay, all we gotta do is measure this. I don't know. This might take a while to do, but I promised her I'd make her one, and I was waiting for all these books to get here, and I ordered a couple of them, and then Jamie found a couple, and she said, would these work? And I'm like, oh yes, those will work. So all I'm going to do is flatten this back out and line up my, I can see why I have all kinds of cutting errors, because I have all of that in there. Let's see if there's any. Okay. But anyways, that's what's been taking so long, Janet, is I've been waiting for all these books to get here, and they finally all arrived. So now we have our reinforced, and we're going to cut this in half because we need the spine. Thank you for kicking out my cow patties, Roberta. You guys letting everybody know Liz is taking 4 books or 3 books and making one out of them. Okay, so we're going to glue that on the cover. And then we just have to make sure we got the cover going the right direction. And then we're going to glue this on the back. And then I'm going to tear this apart. I'm just tearing everything apart. Whoa, nice and easy, please. Ugh. And then we're going to put this in reverse on the inside. Okay, let's get to gluing. and then we'll get to sewing in. But we're got a lot of sewing to do. You think I can sew in? What did I think I heard Jimmy Lou yesterday saying? Somebody's gonna sew in 5 signatures. They're nuts. 1, 2. I'm doing 5. I guess I'm nuts. Call Jimmy Lou. Tell her Liz is nuts. We're gonna sew in 5 signatures and less than an inch long. We are nuts. We are a nut. All right, so let's just. I can't believe I'm doing it. I'm gonna have to refill up my glue bottle for sure. I might even need to go to Fabric Tack real quick because I have a feeling this cover needs to have more on it to keep it there. And this is pretty thick paper. I won't say it's as thick as like heavy cardstock. I'm not even sure it said what it was. Where's my little spatula at? I better get it on here. Okay, let's just get this on here. It's pretty thick, so we should be okay. Let's see if this does say what the weight is of the paper though. It doesn't have a weight. It just says art paper. So, internet again, stay with me. I don't know why I'm losing the internet. It's red, that's why I don't know why. When my booster turns red is when I start losing you guys. So I don't know what's causing the booster to turn red. Sometimes I think I should just not go on my Wi-Fi and I should just go on my internet, you know, my Verizon. And try it that way. Grover, what do you need? Do you have to go outside? Okay, I'm gonna have to go real quick and let the dog out because we don't want any accidents. Give me 1 second, and this has to hold for a second anyways. Bob, can you let Grover out? Go, go. Go, go with Daddy. Go with Daddy. That dog does not mind his dad at all. If I'm home, he's a one-person dog. Mine. I gotta slide that up a little bit. All right, so we got the cover on. He's still yelling at the dog to do it. I don't know how he's gonna watch those dogs for 2 weeks while I'm gone. I don't know. I might have 2 dogs with me though on my trip. Okay, so now on the inside, because we got to build this before I start sewing. I'm going to reverse this because I want this to go in the front where it says this book belongs to, and my name is, and then Janet can write Porter's name in here that she's given it to him. I think that's so cute. So. If it comes out. If it doesn't come out, then, you know, all I wasted was some time and some money that I spent on the books, right? So, but we got faith. It's going to come out. Like I said, I'm not too worried about it being super thick because I'm not adding all of the fat ephemera, you know, like the laces. Oops, I'm causing the table to move. Sorry about that. Did I make anybody dizzy? And then this says thank you on it, and I just think that's cute. So we're using the, you know, the cover from the book, and now we're gonna have to sew these signatures in, and then, you know, I'll worry about the building of it after we see whether or not it actually works, you know. So if it works, will be happy, right? And then I don't have to worry about Jimmy Lou saying I'm crazy. No. It's going to be great. I hope so. Hey, Barb. Thank you for jumping in. Uh-oh. I see that Raquel's here. Hi. Are you telling your mother-in-law that I'm nuts because I'm going to sew in 5 signatures into an inch? Hey, Jill. How are you? I didn't see you pop in either. Glad your husband's home. Hope he's doing well. Okay, so now we just have to get our little kit. So we're going to sew all of this into this book. I think we can do it. I think we can do it. But let me put my cap on my glue ball, because if I need to glue anything on, I don't want to have to take time. And I think I might be able to still put this in and make, you know, I can still use this maybe. I don't know. Oh, I do want to add a couple of pages to each one of them. So let's get that ready before we sew, because we definitely we'll only have one chance. So let's actually get our measurement so I don't have to keep stopping. This is gonna be one for the books if it works, right? So we have 8 inches to work with by 8 inches. So it's 8-inch square. I've never done an 8-inch square book before. So as long as we're definitely under 8 inches, so I don't even need to cut that. I just need to fold it. And really all I'm trying to do is to get 1 or 2 of these pages like this in each signature. Now this one we're going to have to cut down. So let's cut this one down. Man, I'm telling you, I don't know why I pick up so much fibers. I guess it's because the papers I like always have fibers or something in them. So we have 8 inches to go that way. And we'll use these for like belly bands and stuff like that. We'll still put belly bands in. And then it's 12, so we'll be able to get my 8 inches this way. We'll have less than 8 inches, so we got that one. And then I found these brown papers at, I think these are 8.5 by 11 though. Yeah, so let's get this down to 8. I got these papers at Ollie's too, and it was, this one has like a little fold. I'm wondering if I want to keep that in there for right now. That's kind of neat. I think I'm gonna fold it like that and sew it in, and it'll have its own little clip to kind of, we can work with that. That'll be fun. Squirrel. So let me just fold that. But anyways, I got these at Ollie's too. It came in a pack and it was only $1.99. I thought, that's a good deal. So I like how it has that little lip there. So when I sew it in, if I get it right, we can make it, oh no, because that'll be on a different page. All right, never mind. All right, let's take that off. I was thinking I would be able to keep it, but when I sew it in, it'll actually not be together. Hush. Hush, little girl. So I have a couple of those to add in. So that'll be fun and boyish, you know. But we gotta get that, I forget, these are 8.5 by 11. So we have to get that inch off, or that ½ inch off. With me, folks. Okay, so Miss Jimmy Lou's here. Miss Jimmy Lou, thank you for watching. But I'm gonna sew in 5 signatures in a 1-inch spine. What do you think? Me thinks me lost me mind too. Hi Cindy, how are you? Hi Debbie, thank you for coming in. Oh, we forgot to take that ½ inch off. Yeah, we have definitely lost our mind. We've lost it. And I think I'm going to have to take those down. There's another page under there, I know, but I got to cut it because I got a couple other pages. So I don't know if Jimmy's, if you saw from the beginning or if you're just coming on and seeing it from this point. But since I'm not adding anything thick, Jimmy Lou's yelling at me because she's got it in she's got it in capital letters. But Jimmy Lou, I am not adding anything to the pages to make them thick. So there won't be any like lace going on or anything like that. So I really think I might be able to do it. I don't know. It might be that I can't get the holes in here and I might need to reinforce this piece. I might agree to that because having them sewn in might not be enough. I don't know. I might think about not adding these extra pages in, but I want to have them ready just in case. So these are 8.5 by 11 too. So we have to get the 11 off. We have to get it to 8 inches. I know, Jimmy Lou, but I don't know how to make the spine any bigger. I don't know, Jimmy Lou. What would Jimmy Lou do? That's my was it WWJD. What would Jimmy Lou do? She said, "You're a nut, girl." But like I said, I'm not adding anything other than a couple of pockets. Just a couple of these little pages so I can decorate them, you know, with pockets and cute stuff. He's going to be a chubby. I might not even put this one in because it's pretty pink. But I just kind of took all the boy papers I could find. And everybody says I can do it, Jimmy. Everybody says I can. All right. I think I have 3 more pages to fold, and then we're gonna start sewing. And if I had a long stapler, oh, that didn't even cut straight, I would staple them in. But I don't have a long arm staple anymore. I used to have one, but I don't have one anymore. So I can't do that. But I am kind of worried about the spine being strong enough. So let me I do have a piece of chipboard here. Let's see if it's 8 inches. It's not 8 inches that way. It is 8 inches this way. So let me cut this at 1 inch. That's what's hard about mine, is getting 1 inch because you got to hold it. So I only have 1 inch. I kind of agree with, I really kind of think that I need this extra stability in the spine. I kind of do. I really think Jimmy Lou has something. She didn't say it out loud, but I heard her. I heard her loud and clear. Okay, so I am going to glue this down in here. And because we're going to sew it into that paper, and I agree with Jimmy that that paper is not going to be strong enough to hold 5 holes. Okay. I do have this pretty green to make like the wings. So let me cut this. Well, I tell you, I'm all over. My mind's working hard. If this works, I deserve, I don't know what. I really don't. Okay, so I need to score this. What is this? This is not even, okay, so it's 4 inches. So I need to score it. At 1.5. Where's my scoring tool? It's not in here. It's not there. Okay. So 1 and I need an inch. Here's my 1 inch. I'm gonna score it at 1.5. And then I need 1.5 inches. And I just kind of want to make it to where it bends easy enough on this. See, even in junk journaling, you have to measure sometimes. Sometimes you just have to measure. I do have some denim material. I could have put that in there, but it's not on my desk. But I do like the green. And we're going to leave those wings alone for the moment. I'm going to leave these alone until I see if this is all going to work. So we're still able to bend. All right, now comes the fun part. Putting this baby together. So we have white on the outside, don't matter what color we pick. But we have green. I do have green thread, so let's use this green thread. And we need our awls. This is the part that I'm kind of worried about. I know I should have been worried a long time ago, but now I'm really worried is that it might just be that I don't have enough hole space. And I might have to like alternate where I put my holes, which is fine because I'm going to cover it up on the outside. Where is my other awl? I always put my stuff back. I always put my stuff away. Here it is, right in front of me. Okay, so we have that. I think Jimmy Lou's going to stay on just see if I can do this. Either that or I've given her a heart attack and she's not. So I am going to take my, we still have 15 minutes. I can sew 5 signatures in 15 minutes, right? Oh my goodness. I'm going to take the thinnest needle I have. That one fell out, so I guess that was it. This one's the thinnest, but it's got like a triangle shape, so it's not. I just don't want to put large holes in. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, we're going to start with our first book, which was this book, right? Yep. And on our first book, let's thread her up. 1, 2, 3, and I'm just going to give myself a little extra because why not, right? And like I said, if it doesn't work, then all I got to do is add a wider spine. I mean, really, that's all I got to do. So all of this will still be okay to use. We'll just have to extend the spine if it doesn't work, which is, you know, that's okay. We'll do it next Monday or next week if we have to. But, you know, we got to try and see if it's going to work. So I say myself, start sewing. This is our first one. And I think I will, I was gonna clamp it in, but I think I really want to make sure that I get these kind of straight. So I am going to go through. I was gonna add a paper though. I just want to add one paper to each signature. So we're just gonna pop that baby right in there. Just so I have something to really grab onto that doesn't have holes in it. And I'm gonna go an inch down on this one. Oh, this needle is very dull. So let's get a different needle. Okay. That needle doesn't want to go through. Oh, use your awl, dummy. Use my awl, dummy. Okay. I think Jimmy Lou's left the building. Okay, so we're in. We're in like Flynn. And I'm going to go straight in, right there. Okay, we're in. And like I said, I'm not, you know, like normally you'd give yourself, you know, a half an inch or so in between. But I am, we don't have that room. We don't have the room to do that. Okay, we're in. Let's go an inch above. I'm just trying to keep it straight. Now I'm like nervous because I feel everybody saying she's never going to be able to make this work. Oh, I did hear you, Penny. Thank you. I heard you all the way. I'm like, why isn't this needle going through? All right, so I'm going to take the center one out. And I'm going to try and pick up this needle. And we're going to go through. And just going to hold it. And then I'm going to hold it tight on the bottom. And go through the bottom. I might have wanted to start backwards, but I didn't. And then I'm gonna go all the way to the top. I'm gonna hold that baby. Please go in. Please, I don't have time for that. All right, so we're in. I was thinking I probably should have figures it would want to split right where I added that other piece of paper. Come on, we don't want to mess it up in front of all these people. Okay, so our only rule is to have the one tail on one side and one on the other, right? Okay, we're in. We got one down, 4 to go. Hi, Debbie. How are you? We're gonna sew. Hi, Lori. I got this. Okay, well, I hope I do. I hope we got it. So right now, I'm just gonna tie little bows in these things, and then I don't think we'll have room to add any charms. You know, like I said, it's going to a boy. We're not adding like charms or anything like that in. So we got our first one in. Woohoo! So now we got to do, I want to do the fire engine. Now the only problem I have is I have to sew these in separately because that's how they made the book. They didn't make the book to where I could, you know, put it in. So, silly people. So let's add one page to this. And we'll just add it here. We have no rhyme or reason for it, to be truthful with you. I have no rhyme or reason. All right, so we got to sew this one in next. And this is where I'm a little bit worried that I'm not going to have the space to get 5 of them in here. So I'm going to move my hole for this one down. Like I said, we're going to cover this spine. So I am going to, I'm going to sew this one in with just using 2 holes. Can I do that? Do I have to have 3? My brain's working. I guess I do need to still have 3. So I'm going to go down an inch, you know, like a 1/2 inch from the other one. And I'm just going to go in there. And I really think I really kind of think I could do 2. I'm just trying to figure out how I would knot it. How would you knot 2 if you just did 2? Ugh. Just trying to keep myself straight. Okay, so we got 2 in. So if I go in, trying to think, if I go in and out, I should be able to just tie it, right? I'm going to try that. I'm going to try doing it with just 2 holes. And then if it doesn't work, I'll just pull the thread and we'll put an extra hole in. But I think it's only 4 pieces of paper. I think I can just do it with 2. I really do. I really think. All right, we're going to try it. You know, maybe I'm inventing something. I don't know. So on this one, I'm going to go in on the bottom. And then I'm going to come in through the top. And then I'm just going to tie these babies up. Instead of having 3 holes. You know what I didn't do was to check to make sure I'm in the right direction. Whew, for a minute there, it scared me. I'm like, I didn't check to see if I was going the right direction, but I am, thank goodness. So I'm just going to double tie that. And then on the next one, I'll do the 3 again. We'll see. I might be the discussion for next Tuesday's Bookmakers Club. On what not to do. Right? Whoever's in Bookmakers. All right, we got 2 signatures sewed in. See? We got 2 of them in. Now we still got to do some more. Okay, so now we got to put this baby in. And I think on this one, I should go back and do the top and the bottom and the middle. So I'll do 3. Looking good? Well, we'll see if it works. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not adding any lace to it. So I think it's about the only way I'm going to get, the only way I'm going to be able to get it so it's not a chubby, oops, see, now that's a problem because that was not lined up. We want it, even though it's a boy, and I know it's got a hole now. So I think I will move my inside up because I can't fix the outside hole. So I mean, if we were adding a whole bunches of, different papers, I don't think we could do it for sure. I really don't. But since we are not adding lace to any of these, I think we'll be able to do it. Whoa. Okay, so we're only gonna add 2 more in after this. And then I'm gonna have a heart attack. I got 4 minutes. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it, guys. But Jimmy Lou's got a sale going on in a few minutes, right? I will stay on and sew the other 2, and if you guys have 2 devices like me, you can jump over and watch Jimmy Lou's sale. But I'm just gonna go out the center. If not, then we can sew the last 2 in on Monday. And then I'm gonna go all the way to the top. You just, don't let go once you take that all out. Because if you let go, you're not gonna find it. Even the center one always, oh, that one went right in. Yoo-hoo. I'm just pulling it tight, tying my knots. And now we have 2 books sewed in already. Oops. Can I tie a bow when I need the time? All right, so now we have to sew in 2 more into this little hole. So now we're gonna sew her in. I want to add I forgot to add paper to that other one. Darn it. So let me add a paper to this one. Well, we can always add papers in, Okay, so, like we can add the papers in and make, like we can't add a whole bunch in, that's for sure, because we got 5 signatures going in here. But to truthful with you, they're not as thick as they're not as thick as normal, because normally you would put 13 to 18 pages in, and we're really not adding all of that thickness into the journal. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's why we're getting away with it, is because I'm not adding a whole bunch to it. So now I'm going to go back in. And I should have used my awl instead of my needle, because I'm going, it won't fit. So I just want to come down a little bit. And go in. This is definitely going to be one for the books, right? Definitely going to be one for the books. But like I said, the reason I'm getting away with this is because we're not really putting in all of that thick papers, kind of deal. So that's how we're getting away with it. On this one, I'm only going to do the 2 holes again. So I'm going to go through the bottom just because it's here. And I probably didn't need all of that thread, that's for sure. And I'm going to come up to this one. And we'll tie this one off. And then we only have 1 more to sew in, and I can do that in a minute. Right? We're just gonna miss like a minute and a half at Jimmy's sale. let me double knot this. And then we're just gonna have to be mindful when we're decorating that we can't, you know, look, we still have enough room to get this last one sewed in. And I'm just gonna add another page, and we'll add one more page in here. And we'll get her all back in. So on this one, I'm going to try and do the 3 again. So I'm going to go up a little bit. And I'm just going in between that center part that I have left. Ooh, that's close to the edge. We're going to make it work. Alright, we just need to get one more in the center here. Alright, we did it. Okay, so I just have to thread up one more and then we'll be done for today. And I can go take a break and go, woo, I did it. I got 5 signatures sewed into an inch. Nut. I'm a nut. I'm a fruitcake. I'm a nut. If I could just get this in there. Never let anybody tell you you can't do something. That's what I've always learned in my life. Never let anybody tell you you can't do it. You know, unless it's like, you know, jumping off a cliff or something like that, you know. Something where you know that you can't do it. I'm just going back in here in my bottom hole. And then I'm going all the way to the top. I'm going to really hang on to it. And then we just need to come back into this last center hole. Come on, baby. Be nice to me. I don't have room to mess around. All right, guys. We tied in 5 signatures into a 1-inch spine. We did it. I got to get my thread out though. Where is it? There we go. I don't know why I always end up with the short side too, but I do. So we will put this in a box and we will work on it on Monday at 2 o'clock Central Time. And I'll clean up all my mess. But we got 5 signatures sewed in, and I'll find something like the blue jeans. That was a cute idea, and I will sew the blue jean or cover this with those blue jeans because that would be cute. I have denim, and so we did it. We got the book all sewed in. It's a couple extra pages, and they're all going the right direction. So I will flip this up, and I'm gonna go. Whew. I don't know how we did it, but we managed to get all of that in there. And we should have fun decorating it. We got to be mindful the entire time that we can't make it thick. You know, we got to keep it some. So everybody jump over to Jimmy Lou's sale, and I will see you guys all on Monday at 2 o'clock Central Time, and we'll start decorating this fun book. So thank you for crafting with Nani, and I'll see you guys real soon. I'll see you on everybody's pages. Bye-bye.